Alright guys, thank you. Same story. We'll start with our journals inside and then we'll come virtual. Okay? Thank you.
James, not a perfect match, but at least it's upwards on the rock and 5 points.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, after last week was a massive disappointment, especially the way we found a way to lose. And today I thought there were times that we showed composure of what we should have showed last week. You know, that defense on the end of the game for me is, you know, people can break games into different parts, and the way they defended, even though they had got the bonus point and won, is something that obviously makes it special for a team, and I'm hoping that we use that in the next couple of weeks.
What was it differently this week as compared to last week?
Yeah, look, I think we trained differently, to be fair. We trained, there was a bit more urgency. I know what happens sometimes, you know, it's players and teams are always like that. You think things are just going to happen. Last week we thought, you know, it was going to happen, and it didn't. So I think there was probably a little bit more urgency, a little bit more focus. And the training sessions were a little bit more, I would say, a little bit more quick, which also helps because we want to play quickly.
Did the difference in training also apply to the youth sports? Because there was a certain level of breakdown dominance that just did not allow the Lions any momentum for the better part of the game.
Well, last week, if you remember correctly, you know, Dion Fourie made a hard work of the breakdown, and I think again that's part of the learning that the group's got to understand is that they had to get it. You know, journalists told me last week we need a fetcher, and he's right. So we picked 3 of them this week.
Thanks, Kimo.
Jake, it did look like the rugby that you played was to get the Lions pinned down in their area and then feed off their mistakes. Is that how you planned it?
Look, I thought we played quite well in the beginning because we ran. I don't think they expected us to run from our own half in the beginning of the game. They thought we just kick the ball and play territory. So I thought the way we balanced playing out of our half and kicking at times, you know, in terms of turning them around, and especially at the back end of the game when we cornered them in that left-hand corner and it was difficult for them to get out. So, yeah, look, I think to be fair as well, it was difficult for them. They lost Jaco Versaghi during the week. It means the line-out was always going to be under pressure. And so, you know, we didn't mind going into the line-out contest because when you change your hooker and you lose a lock, like they did last week, it always has a domino effect on your set piece. So, yeah, it was a tactic of ours to talk about that and not be scared to actually give them line-outs because we thought we could put them under pressure, and we did. So I was very happy about that.
In terms of driving balls, they're one of the better teams in the competition, so we must be proud of the way you stopped them. I mean, they only were successful once from a line-out drive, so
yeah.
We did very well.
Yeah, we did well. I just thought again, I mean, it was quite tough on us. The first time they mauled, they got another maul, and then we got a yellow card, you know. So, but I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, we've got to. That's part of what I was saying earlier is that we've got to find a way to be composed, and we had the game in the bag again now. And you give a yellow card away and you let them back in again. So, but this group will grow. This group will grow. I said it last week. You know, we haven't been together for a long time. There's a lot of guys that left. If you consider Trevor's gone, Morne Smith's not here, Jason Jenkins is not here, Jacques du Plessis is not here, Sintu's not here, you know, Marco van Staden's not here, Dwayne's not here, and Carl Brink's not here. And there are not many teams that would not love to have those guys in your match day squad. So, yeah, again, it's not an excuse, but I mean, that's what's so nice about it. If we get this group of players that can get those things right, then we can grow as a team.
Okay.
Marcell, the scrum remained a bit of a work in progress. There were particular scrums where the balls held their own, and there were some that kind of went by sideways. So does that particular facet still remain a work in progress?
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's a lot of work on, so I could say in general about the game, but the scrums, we're working hard on it behind the scenes, and the guys are really doing the extras. And it's, you know, if you want to win a game, your set pieces need to function, you know. So in scrums, I thought at times went well, but then against us, you know. So we'll keep on hammering on that and stuff. And then if I take it to the mauls as well, on the lineouts, there's always room for improvement. So you take it week by week.
Before you go on 9 minutes, just talk us through El in particular. He made one lamp-busting run that pretty much set the temperature of the game, and also that hit on Vimel was also robbed the line of critical momentum. How big a play can he be as season progresses? I mean, especially the fact that there will be some sort of squad rotation with from the Springboks this year because of the build-up to the World Cup next year?
Well, I mean, it's answered this week and he was picked as Currie Cup Player of the Year. So I'm sure he's close to being picked. You can't be the best player in South Africa in the Currie Cup and then not get picked. So, yeah, I mean, he's growing. He's growing every time and he's still young. He's really young. And that's part of he's going to get better and better. You talk about that run on the try line. But the one that he got in the first half from the kickoff when he actually ran over the top of someone and, we got some great go-forward ball there. So, and then his line-out work at the back of the line-out was also outstanding today, So, yeah, he's gonna come through. We just got to make sure we manage him properly as well.
I suppose the same counts for Croatia.
Yeah, exactly. Robbie's man of the match again today, But it's not hard. I mean, when you sit in our team and he sees Bismarck sitting on the bench, he realizes I better start playing. And that's what's nice about competition. And if you can create competition in every position. Cornwall wasn't here today, and I thought Harold played quite well today as well. So, the more depth and the more competition we can create in every position, the better it's going to be. And that's part of what we're trying to do going forward, Chris, is that, Kane and Moody first came today playing in that back line with relatively experienced guys around him. He was quite good for a guy and he's young, he's 19. Imagine, 3-4 years' time, or 3 years' time when he's got 90, 80 games for the Bulls. He's going to be a good player. So that's part of the process. Ulrich, Robis, Kane, Ludwig, that's where we are as a group, and we're very conscious of that, and that's why we don't mind them making mistakes or trying things, because it's going to get better and better for them as they get older.
Thanks, guys. Let's go in line. Jan.
Thank you. Marcel, Jaco Kriel said something very interesting, and it's not often players are that honest, but he admitted that it felt for him at times that the players weren't committed, the Lions players weren't committed. Did it feel for you that some of the guys just weren't willing to put their bodies on the line in the Lions team?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because you tend to focus on your own structures and your own game, and it's credit to him for being honest like that. But I think the main focus for us was just going to the game, implementing what we wanted to do on the day. And if he feels that way about his squad, fair play then. But I think our whole mantra, we were very disappointed last week, and we just wanted to rectify all the mistakes that we made in that game, and we just wanted to get on the winning horse again. So.
Thanks, Jan. Anyone else? Carl, Albert, Simon?
Yes, thanks. Jake, first of all, congrats, Coach of the Year, well deserved.
Thank you.
As far as the game is concerned, I've asked Cash just now about your game plan, and obviously you were strategically better and choices that were made on the field, and you did put the Lions under severe pressure, and hence the
Simon, we're losing you then.
That's Simon talking. Okay. That's Simon. Was it Carl?
No, it's Simon.
Simon.
You still there, Simon? No, we're losing you.
The long issue, perhaps Marcel, you also explained as far as that's concerned. Change in.
No, you're breaking up, Simon. You can't hear it. Sort of comes and goes.
We can hear you a little bit, struggling. Okay, let's move. Carl, can you hear? Carl, have you got anything in the meantime, Albert? Struggling.
Yeah, let's move.
Is it the...
Might be you guys.
We hear you clearly on this side.
Okay, you can,
Okay,
yeah,
all
keep
right.
going.
Okay, I
Simon.
can hear you now, Simon. You can go.
It's calm now.
No, struggling.
Can I continue?
Yeah,
Yes.
you may.
Jake, you said what makes this whole URC interesting is that you play the same opponent twice in a week's time.
and that you have to get new, can we call it tricks or new attitude towards the game for the next match? Do you think it needs to change much for the Lions game next week at Loftus?
Yeah, exactly. I think you do, because it's when I coach in the Heineken Cup, you end up playing someone on Saturday, and next Saturday you play the same team away. And obviously you've got to try and work out a different tactic. Not major changes, but you've got to find a way in which you can bring a surprise element. Maybe change one or two players. Maybe look at the way that you did certain things, attackingly and defensively. But I don't think we're in the luxury now of making too many changes, because this group is relatively new anyway. And I think what I've heard from you tonight is that obviously the Lions will want to follow their captain and make sure that Jaco Kriel said they didn't pitch up. So, they're obviously not going to change too much, other than the fact that they're going to come with a different mindset. And we're going to have to probably match that as well. So, they beat the Stormers away from home, so we're not underestimating them at all.
Carl, is there anyone else before we wrap it up?
Can I try last time?
Yes, go for it.
Jacques van Rooyen said that the senior players came together and had a discussion this week about the loss. What are you privy? Give us a little bit of what was said there, because you have had a change today and things are starting to look better.
Yeah, Simon, it's very simple. Obviously I'm not going to tell you word for word what the players said, but they understand that they let themselves down last week. They had the opportunity at 26-18 to win the game. You consider you've got Mornay on the field, you've got Cornell on the field, you've got Marcell on the field, you've got Bismarck on the field. One would think that we would be composed enough to finish that game off and win it. And if we're going to grow as a team, we've got to look at that and say, what are we going to do next time we're in that same situation? And we've got the best goal kicker almost in the world. He misses a conversion. It would have been 28-18, I think, or 28-16. 28-18. And then they scored, and then we got a penalty in front of the poles and we went for touch. Now, I can tell you, if Mornay had kicked that kick over and it was 28, whatever it was, he would have taken the 3 points and killed the game. So, yeah, that's part of how we're going to grow as a team. So I think they spoke a little bit about what their roles are when they're on the field. Cornell is relatively inexperienced as a captain, so he probably, listened to some guys. Some guys said, let's go for the corner, we'll win the game. And, that they'll learn. That's basically what they spoke about, is taking responsibility for when it's going against you, because it's so easy when it's going for you to make those calls.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll have to call it. The Vodacom Bulls need to make their way. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.